Thank you to AMD for sponsoring our CES 2017 content. Check out their new Ryzen processor in the link in the description down below. Back at Computex 2016, InWin held this epic competition between modders from all around the world to see who could make the best mod on one of their platforms. Our friends at BSMods were there, Bob and Rod, and they had a really interesting submission. I made a video about it, you guys voted, and they're one of the winners to have their mod turned into an actual production purchasable case. When I walked up to the booth at InWin, I seriously thought it was the modded version from before. I was like, oh cool, they brought the one that they made at Computex to the show floor at CES. I was wrong. That is the final product. That is a purchasable, expensive, limited edition product that looks absolutely legit. Upon closer inspection, while staying true to the original build, they have done some upgrades. The sword itself does look a little bit better, and on the pommel, there's this really awesome power button that feels really nice, and then along the side of the blade, there's your I/O. So they have two USB 3, two USB 2, and audio headers. All of those scallops are on 3mm thick aluminum panels, which is super legit, and the shield on the right side of the case has an LED backlight behind it. The giant rivets all throughout the case are all real. They actually sourced rivets that big specifically for this build, which is not something InWin normally uses at all. For the cross on the front, that mesh pattern that goes behind it, they had to find the original material that they actually used for the first mod and buy it in bulk, which was actually a complicated process, but either way, it looks great. And it probably should, considering it costs so much that if you actually care how much it costs, you probably shouldn't buy it. I actually don't know right off the top of my head. That wasn't really a variable that mattered. But to make sure that you actually know that it is fully legit through and through, there's a signed panel on the left-hand side from Bob and Rod themselves, which is awesome. This build that you can see right now weighs 65 pounds without the water in it. So it actually weighs a little bit more than that. And when they display it, they take 2 people to pick it up. All of this was built on an InWin 509 frame, so if you think you can do a mod that's cool as well, you can pick that up. And if you're thinking of other things, maybe try to give them a name. At BSMods on Twitter, they're trying to figure out a name for this. One that I thought of was Sword and Board, which is kind of like the knight thing, but it's not a board for the shield, it's a metal thing, so maybe you can think of something more creative than I did. And speaking of creativity, thanks again to AMD for sponsoring our CES 2017 content. Their Radeon Vega GPU will introduce a new memory architecture that sports high bandwidth cache. You can learn more about Vega by visiting ve.ga, clever URL, or visiting After the Uprising on this YouTube link right up here.